Robe is on location in Halifax, UK, with lighting designer Elliot Baines. We were revisiting Elliot 3 years after his first on location to discover how his company, SpiralStageLighting, has grown and developed. It's great to be in Halifax, and it's fantastic to be here at your fairly new office.
Thank you for coming.
Tell me a little bit about this location, about the office.
So we needed the hub just because the amount of work that started to come through, it's just working from home, I am not a massive fan of. So to have a hub like this, where all of our artists, everyone that we collaborate with, can come to this spot, it's just amazing to have the space, have the technology and the equipment that we need as well.
It's about 3 years since we did that original on location, and a huge amount has happened in your world in 3 years.
Definitely.
So just can you maybe go through a couple of highlights of how Spiral's grown in that time?
Well, 3 years hasn't been, it's not that long, but a lot has happened. I went on my first world tour, which I was dropped into randomly.
Who was that with?
Callum Scott. So that was an incredible experience. And then after that, we did his design for the Songbook So Far tour. So we were working on that for quite a while. We had a lot of new artists that came through as well. Started working with Sane, where we created like a basketball court on stage, which was touring around with like street lamps and stuff. And now we are currently also working with Maribou State. So from that time, we've grown such an incredible roster of different artists and also different clients, like not just artists, but we also work with different brands like Diageo and a few other corporate brands as well. So we've started to move into that sector than just live touring. And we've kind of found ourselves to be more than just a lighting design company. You know, we also focus on the set design. We also help with the video side and collaborate with different content creators for the visuals. And just the overall show creative, everything from, you know, how they come out on stage to how they're lit, the whole stage design, and just everything visually creative that we've started to work on and collaborate with other people as well.
Do you actually enjoy working collaboratively as part of a team?
100%, you know. There's always that thing of having too many cooks in the kitchen, but if you've got the right balance of people, you've got the right balance of different creatives and stuff, you know, you can create incredible experiences. Like as I say, we're working with a set designer at the moment for some projects next year. Multiple content creators, there's you know, creative agencies as well that we collaborate with. And also programmers, other lighting programmers as well that we've been working with on projects. So it's great to have those different minds also suggesting ideas, still having that credit for themselves rather than just Spiral or just Elliot or something like that. They can also walk away and say that they did it, and you know, it's amazing to have that and to be able to have that community of creatives.
You've been working with some fantastic artists like Callum Scott, Maribou State, Saint. Can you just talk a little bit about some of those projects?
So we've been working with them now for a few years. Saint, we should hopefully have some stuff next year. He's released some new songs, some really exciting times for him. Callum Scott, we did the Songbook So Far tour.
Which was, I also believe, your first world tour?
Yes. So before that was Bridges, so that was like a bit of a collaboration as well. That was a world tour, and I was the operator for that tour, and then for Songbook I ended up being the designer because that went into proposals and pitching. And yeah, we toured Europe, we toured America, we toured Asia. And then obviously with Maribou State as well, we're doing this year. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up with them as well to the year to come. A lot of it has been no sleep, but it's been an absolute dream to do, and I'm definitely not complaining about it. It's an extremely amazing experience. And last time we spoke, my count of countries, I must have been to 4. Now I've been to 56 countries since in the space of 3 years. It's so great, I just don't understand, but Yeah, it's yeah, that was with Callum, most of those countries. So I'm so grateful to have those experiences, especially at such a young age, still being a baby on tour. But yeah.
Do you have a favourite out of all those you've seen in the last 3 years?
Definitely Switzerland is a beautiful country. Norway, love Australia. We're doing a tour in Australia with one of our artists later on in the year as well. But definitely Australia, Eastern Europe, sort of like the Baltics as well. Love the Baltics. I am just so Northern English. I love working in cold weather. It's just so much better than working in like the extreme heat.
You're a lot hardier than us like flimsy Southerners, I can tell you that. But I also believe, just tell me a bit about the interpreter in Japan, because that's a fun story.
So we did a show in Japan. They had to get me a translator because they didn't understand me. All of our crew was English, by the way, and this translator was only for me because I was the only northern person on the tour. So they had to get a translator because they couldn't understand Northern English, and I can't switch it. I'm trying to become more well-spoken. That's my challenge at the moment. So they were like, Elliot, I'm really sorry. We've had to get you a translator. They can understand everyone else, just not you. And I thought it was a joke. But it was
so funny.
Yeah, but it was an incredible experience in Japan as well. That was awesome. And that was a really funny bonus. I thought it was a joke at first, but yeah, that happened.
Highlights of the last 3 years. I know there'd be far too many to mention, so I'm just going to put out one that you mentioned when we were chatting earlier, and that is Marabou States at Glastonbury this year on the West Holts stage. I believe that was a very special gig for you.
Yeah, last time I was there was about 10-11 years ago. I was 10 years old. And I was just going around asking the different operators on stages if I could have a go with the lights and stuff like that. And then this year I was asked to design the lighting for Marabou State on the West Holts stage at Glastonbury, and that was just such an emotional moment because some of the operators who were still there when I asked if I could have a go at the lights when I was 10 came to watch the show and, you know, had used their time to come and watch it. So it was such an amazing experience to, especially, you know, designing a show for Glastonbury alone is incredible, but like a headline slot on the third biggest stage, and it was just amazing. It was such an incredible thing to be a part of.
What do you feel has been the biggest business learning curve of the last 3 years?
Definitely the design aspect of how much more we can offer than just doing light design, like obviously implementing set and video into the designs as well, and helping echo what the artist is feeling in their music and how that makes people feel, and even corporate brands echoing them and echoing what they represent into a visual world and a visual atmosphere for the audience and whoever's there to kind of experience. But yeah, 100% how we can change our designs through set and video.
Do you feel that the industry has changed post-COVID?
I think there's a lot more people collaborating now, which is really nice. I'm using that word a lot, but it's just something that I really go by at the moment. So I think now there's a lot of people that are realising that, you know, working together, and it is a community, this industry, rather than just constantly competing, and that's what I've learned as well. It's a huge community. Mental health seems to have been echoed a lot more in the industry post-COVID. I think that's my main thing, thinking about it. People have realised that there's so many people touring that go through things, and you know, people keep it inside because they just wake up and go to work, get off the tour bus, and you know, it's so much more spoken about now because it's so important, especially in this industry when you're away from your families, when you're away with your friends. You know, this job it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. Once you get into it, it becomes your life, and that side has been more echoed since COVID, which is just incredible to see. There's so many groups that have been started.
How do you feel you've developed personally in that time, in that 3 years?
I think definitely being more confident in myself, not as in being big-headed, but just being confident, having, you know, being myself rather than being someone that's not, has really been a big part of how I've grown personally, and especially mentally as well, I have to say. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that feel like they have to be someone different. You can be yourself while still being professional. and you know, standing up for yourself as well, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, sometimes you definitely do have to fight your corner, don't you? You have to push back sometimes.
Definitely.
And sometimes that gets you the respect.
Yeah, 100%. Especially when you're young, you have to deal with a lot of interesting people.